Welcome to Season 3 of the SoundStage Audiophile Podcast. Last year, host Jorden Guth got a crash course in the fundamentals of hi-fi from enthusiasts, journalists, manufacturers, and music industry professionals alike. Those lessons will continue, but this year, Jorden will also get a history lesson from the legends who were there from the giddy up and who made hi-fi what it is today. So with that out of the way, here's Jorden and this week's guest.
Hello and welcome to the SoundStage Audiophile Podcast. Today we brought on Doug Schneider, the founder of SoundStage Network, to talk about the 2024 Products of the Year, as well as Outstanding Achievement Awards that I believe will already be out by the time this podcast is launched, but I could be wrong. Doug, when are you actually planning on releasing the Products of the Year and Outstanding Achievements?
So we're recording this 5 days before the launch, which is December 15th, and This will be out December 20th, so 5 days after the launch. So
love it.
People will see them on the SoundStageHiFi.com website, SoundStageAustralia.com, and a video on YouTube.
Awesome. So we kind of already have an idea that some people listening to this will have already kind of reviewed some of the Products of the Year and the Outstanding Achievements. SoundStage does these Products of the Year a little bit differently than some other publications out there. So I guess for those that haven't listened to this episode from last year, or this kind of episode from last year, tell me a little bit about the Products of the Year. Why, for instance, is there less products this year on the awards than there was last year?
Well, we only give awards if the awards are deserving. So we don't just fill up slots to give every product an award. And, some publications run like that. Hey, let's give everyone an award. We only want awards to products that absolutely deserve it, are way above the rest, not just along with the rest. And so it can be more one year and fewer the next year. And I don't know if we're that much fewer this year, but maybe we are a few fewer. But the ones we have selected deserved awards.
There you go. Yeah, I actually don't know if it's fewer. I feel like it is, but it could just be my memory fading on me. I guess let's go to the next question, which is kind of what are the main awards that we're actually talking about right now?
So we have two sets of Product of the Year awards. One from what we call our core group of sites, which is the reviews that appear on SoundStage Hi-Fi, Ultra, Access, Simplify, and Solo. And then SoundStage Australia, which is our direct affiliate, but operates fully in Australia, has their own Product of the Year awards based on what they review. Ours are based on what we review, and we have to have reviewed them. We don't give awards to a product that we didn't review. And also it has to win a Reviewer's Choice Award at the time the review was published. Okay,
for our core what's a Reviewer's Choice Award?
They recognize two things: outstanding performance and or exceptional value. It could be both for a product, outstanding performance and exceptional value, but outstanding performance meaning irrespective of cost, and then exceptional value meaning great performance, but value, the cost of it, comes into consideration. And our Products of the Year mirror those awards. So it's kind of the best of the best.
Interesting. Now, when it comes to SoundStage versus SoundStage Australia, is there ever any situations where there is a Product of the Year that actually shows up on both?
One did this year on both, and we'll get to that. And then another one did, but we had given it an award last year, so it's not in the same year. But yes, I can see that.
Gotcha.
There is an overlap, and that's a good thing. It kind of means they selected it and thought it was great, and we selected it and thought it was great on this side. Yep.
It's reaffirming it.
Yep.
And so you talked about the Reviewer's Choice Awards. When it comes to the reviewers, can like a lone reviewer basically just nominate whatever product he or she may feel is good? And I've explained to many people over the time. They think we make a mistake at the, it's Reviewer's Choice, the tag, and it's a plural possessive. So the possessive comes after the S. Reviewers, meaning a team of reviewers, choice, not just a reviewer's choice. So the review comes in, obviously the writer weighs in, but then we have a team of proofers, 6 guys usually, I'm one of them, who look through the review, read it. Is it warranted of the Reviewer's Choice Award, and is it error-free as well? And if it's not, it's not. And if it is, well, majority wins. Gotcha. Very cool. All right. So that is kind of the framework for the Products of the Year. There's also another segment of this, which is outstanding achievements.
Yeah.
So you want to give me a little bit of details on that?
These are part of the awards, and we started that 2 years ago, 2022, where we selected 3 people in that year, and then 2023, and now 2024, who have done something instrumental for the hi-fi industry, something groundbreaking, something noteworthy that affected basically the world of hi-fi. And, one of our first recipients was Dr. Floyd Toole, for all his research at NRC and decades of work in hi-fi. So it's a significant award. They're held for people who have really contributed something outstanding, an outstanding achievement, just like the award name sounds. And perhaps we could hit those, who they are this year.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's start with the outstanding achievements. So okay. Who do we have up for outstanding achievements?
This is in no particular order. This is who they are. The 3 that get it. And Scott Bagby, the co-founder of Paradigm. Paradigm was founded in 1982 between him and Jerry Vanderbilt. They were the 2 co-founders of Paradigm. And Jerry stayed in the company until 2005. So they had an over 20-year run. And in that time, they picked up Anthem along the way, which Paradigm purchased Sonic Frontiers, which had the Anthem brand. And Martin Logan came under the umbrella. Actually, no, Martin Logan might not have come under the umbrella when Jerry was there. That might have came when Jerry left. In around that same time, what happened was Jerry decided to go do other things, and Scott brought in an investment firm called Shoreview Industries as an investor. And I think they picked up Martin Logan in around that time as well. And so they all came under that umbrella. So from 2005 till 2019, it was Scott Bagby in business with Shoreview Industries. And Shoreview eventually took a majority stake in the Paradigm Group. Yep. And then out of the blue, and I wrote a story about this on SoundStage Hi-Fi, Scott, with his son, John, bought it all back.
No way.
Off of Shoreview, and bought Martin Logan and Anthem as well. It all came part and parcel. And to this day, John and Scott are running Paradigm. It's back 100% owned. Scott was the co-founder, so he's never been the sole founder, but now he's current owner, and John is running it. And I saw John just last week, and it bodes well for, I guess, Scott's commitment to Paradigm and the speaker industry and keeping that company's legacy alive. You never know what's going to happen with investment firms, but it's under the Bagbys, and I think that's a great thing, and Scott deserves the recognition.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think we touched on this on some of our other episodes, but when suits get involved, sometimes things can go in very good directions, but they could also have some negative impacts. So having the owner as somebody that's super passionate about audio in general, it also being the co-founder is just fantastic. So that's
exactly.
Really cool.
And another winner, I've often said this guy might be the most successful speaker guy of all speaker guys in the sense of he's co-founded 3 of the most influential speaker companies in hi-fi. Sandy Gross. He co-founded Polk Audio in 1972, Definitive Technology in 1990, and both Polk and Definitive are now owned by Massimo. And then in 2010, he co-founded Golden Ear Technology, which is currently owned by the Quest Group. And each of these became really powerful, really influential speaker companies. And it's one thing to found one influential speaker company. It's quite another to be behind 3 of them. And this really shows Sandy's business acumen in the hi-fi industry. And will he co-found 4? I have no idea, but 3 is a good run, and he deserves the Outstanding Achievement Award.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now, where is Sandy from? Is he Canadian?
Baltimore. No, he's not Canadian. He's Baltimore. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but all the Golden Ear designs were created up here in Canada, and the Definitive Technology ones here. And our prior, they used an engineering firm, 45 minutes from where we live, and so they're Canadian designed. But no, Sandy is American.
Maybe that's why I was confusing it and thinking that it was part of the Canadian hi-fi regime that seems to have been going on since
indirectly 80s. It was.
Oh, there you go. Cool. All right. And
I should say, though, Polk Audio was American design because behind that was Matthew Polk, the namesake of the company.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. For some reason, I was just thinking, as soon as you mentioned Golden Ear, I remember us having a conversation about Golden Ear, that research facility in the middle of, maybe not the middle of nowhere, Canada, but pretty close to the middle of nowhere, Canada. So for some reason, I thought he might be Canadian.
And the third
last but not least,
these are in no particular order. Vince Brzee is the founder of Totem Acoustic. He founded it in 1987 when he was, I believe, a high school math teacher. And the Model 1 was his first loudspeaker. And I remember when that came out, it was quite groundbreaking. People love it. This little speaker with a big sound, and it really set them on a path of success. And people should really see the Totem facility one day. Vince really is still there. Yeah, it's really cool. Vince is still there, instrumental in all their designs. He's hardcore passionate as ever, but they're in this great building in Montreal, industrial area, Montreal, but in Montreal. And it's a beautiful building. I mean, you could convert it into this massive Las Vegas style restaurant if you wanted. And Lucy
or
Lentini,
like a museum or something.
Yeah. Lucy Lentini, vice president, who was instrumental in crafting their corporate image, I guess you could say, said, the building is a reflection of the quality of the products and the people who work in it. It's this beautiful place. Yeah, it's a great line. And but Vince himself, he's behind this company. It's a super successful company. It's got its adherents. People love Totem. You can find Vince at hi-fi shows, at stores, demoing the products. He's great at doing that. So he creates the products, demonstrates the products, and really created a great brand. And I mean, it was him from the get-go in 1987.
Yeah, Totem has such a cool vibe. Like, I seem... When was the last time we went there? Maybe like a year ago now?
Yeah, about
this time last year. We were going there. And such a great vibe when you go in there. And then you go into Vince's office and it's like a workshop / kind of studio test center / everything all in one.
Stuff's all over the place. Yeah, exactly. But it's got a vibe. The place has got a really cool vibe. It's fun to always go there. And he makes a mean coffee. The guy will come out every time. He'll say, hey, do you want a coffee, Doug? And I'll always say yes. He does that. Great guy, great company, great brand overall.
Yep. Good speakers, good coffee. You can't really go wrong. All right. So when it comes to Outstanding Achievement Awards, we labeled the 3. Is there going to be articles about these 3 individuals, or is there going to be more kind of a backstory about it? Or is kind of the spiel that we just said, the very short synopsis, kind of the history that we're going to learn of these people?
So the spiel is on SoundStageHiFi.com right now and on SoundStage Australia for their awards.
There you go.
Okay. And, I'm just looking at my notes. I'm doing this with notes in front. People can't see that. And I realize I'm missing a page.
Somebody took a page out of your book?
Somebody took a page out of my book with all the things. So why don't we take a quick break now, Jorden? And I'm going to get that page.
I love it. You're segueing to the breaks.
And then we can roll through those product of the year once I find that page.
Love it. So everyone gets to listen to some music for a little bit. We're going to get our ducks in a row. And then on the way back, we'll start going through these products of the year. And welcome back to the SoundStage Audiophile podcast. Just before the break, we talked about the Outstanding Achievement Awards for 2024 presented by SoundStage. Now, let's get right into the products of the year. So, Doug, where are we starting with products of the year?
Okay, so this is the core group of sites: Hi-Fi, Ultra, Access, Solo, Simplify, and it's divided into three categories. I mentioned outstanding performance and exceptional value is what gets a Reviewer's Choice Award, and we have those categories here. But we have first what we call our distinction awards, which are products that did get a Reviewer's Choice Award during the year, but they're selected for different subcategories. And the subcategories, they don't vary per year in the sense of change the names of the categories, but some subcategories aren't represented in a certain year if a product didn't fit. And this year we have 4 subcategories. And one we've had every year, and this product fell in ideally is called Hall of Fame. And what it is a product that's either been on the market forever or the current iteration of a product. And the winner here is the Bowers & Wilkins 801 D4 signature loudspeaker.
Ooh.
Jason Thorpe reviewed it on Ultra. He loved this loudspeaker. And this obviously, the lineage dates back to the original 801 from B&W, introduced back in 1979. So this is, I don't know how many iterations they've been, but he just loved this new one. And the next award we don't always have every year because you have to find a really special product, and it's called Pioneering Design Achievement. It is something new, something kind of, in a way, revolutionary in a way. And here's where we have some overlap with Australia because they picked this product too. And that is the NAD Masters M66. Streaming preamplifier. And I had long talks with Gordon Brockhouse about it, and he was a real champion in the pioneering design because although, and Roger Cano reviewed this on Hi-Fi, by the way, although all the individual parts of the preamplifier can in ways be found elsewhere, this is the first product of its type to incorporate everything into a preamplifier. We're talking 4 subwoofer outputs, streaming capability, PhonoStage, Dirac live room correction, and not only regular room correction, but bass correction too from Dirac. It's got everything. It's the most up-to-date, I guess you could say, preamplifier in the sense of features that the most technically advanced audiophile can use. So it was given Pioneering Design Achievement because it's the first time we've seen this much stuff put under one roof. Then we have something called Innovation and Design, which is an innovative product. And this time it goes to the Project Audio Systems XAB turntable with Picket Pro balanced cartridge. It's a balanced moving magnet cartridge. It's a balanced design turntable. Balanced design turntables are becoming a thing, and Project is spearheading it, and this is a reasonably priced product. It's innovative. People want to get into the balance thing to really utilize it. You need a balanced PhonoStage as well, and our guy Philip Baudet, who reviewed it on SoundStage Hi-Fi, has one, and he just loves this thing. So that deserved a distinction award. And then
this is the clear plexiglass one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have one called Aesthetics and Sound, which is a marriage of appearance and also sound quality. They both have to be equal measure. It can't be one over the other. And this company keeps winning this thing, not every year, but most years. Sonus Faber for the Sonetta 5 G2 loudspeaker from Italy, which I reviewed on Hi-Fi. Beautiful speaker, great sounding. I mean, this company hits the mark in terms of the appearance and the sound. I mean, it's a really got it all company. And so Aesthetics and Sound goes there.
Love it. Yeah. The speaker looks really, really nice.
It's
it has
beautiful.
really nice
I mean, top to bottom, it's $64.99 in the US a pair. It's first rate throughout.
All right. What's next? Where do we go from there?
Outstanding performance. So these are the ones that got Reviewer's Choice Awards, and outstanding performance means just simply outstanding performance, irrespective of cost. So these can be really expensive. And Gordon and I Gordon being our managing editor, went through all the reviews, sat with them, talked, and said, we got to look what the review says, because it can't be just, this got a Reviewer's Choice. The review's got to reflect it. And 2 speakers, we usually try to narrow it down to one of a product type, but this time 2 floor standing speakers. And we said, boy, they're both deserving of an outstanding performance award. And that's the Dali Epicor 11 loudspeaker. Jason Thorpe reviewed it on Ultra. It's beautiful loudspeaker. Too much bass for his room, but that was more his room problem, not a speaker problem. He's got an Epicor 9 in there right now, and they're working fabulous, which produce less bass, but an amazing state-of-the-art type speaker. And the other is the Bryston Model T10 floor standing loudspeaker. Philip Bedette reviewed it. Absolutely loved it. He was thinking about buying a pair. I said, hang tight, we'll see if anything else comes on, but he loved them that much, and the review reflects that. So they both get outstanding performance awards. Another one speaker is the Buchart Audio Anniversary 10 active loudspeaker, stand-mounted speaker from Denmark. Gordon Brockhouse reviewed it on Simplify. He said it's incredible sounding speaker. Differs from the other two speakers in that it's both stand-mounted and active, meaning all amplification, crossover, and everything is built in. And Buchart Audio makes some great stuff. And this is the Anniversary 10.
This also has the purified drivers? Correct?
Yeah, for the woofers. Yeah. Each speaker pair. From England, George Desaw reviewed this, the Chord Electronics Ultima 10 integrated amplifier. He absolutely loved it. Go read the review on SoundStageHiFi.com. Just top integrated amplifier. Read the review. We couldn't deny it. Then also on Soundstage Hi-Fi, this time from Denmark, the Lingdorf Audio MXA 8400 multi-channel amplifier that can also be bridge to stereo, and it's very versatile. It uses Purify technology again in the amplifier modules, so you can have full 8-channel Purify powered multi-channel amplifier, or they bridge them all to stereo. Roger Canna reviewed it on Hi-Fi, ended up buying it. He loved it.
Yeah. What are we next? What are we
Still outstanding performance. Sim Audio Moon 891 streaming preamplifier, state of the art streaming preamplifier. It's got beautiful phonostage built in, great preamplification, amazing volume control. Yeah. The streaming capabilities through the Mind system, it's Roon capable, all that. For someone who wants a more traditional preamplifier, but not fully traditional, it's got a DAC built in, phonostage, everything inside, and true state-of-the-art performance. And I should say we recognized the step down last year, the 791, and this 891, little taller, a little heavier, notches it up in performance. And Aaron Garrick reviewed it on Ultra and loved it. So then we also have, again, reviewed on Ultra, but this time by Jonathan Gorse, the Name Audio NSS 333 streaming DAC. Streaming meaning it has a streaming system built in, get all your, streaming platforms connected and that sort of thing. And it's a straight up digital to analog converter of the highest quality. And Jonathan Gorse absolutely loved it. Then on the flip side, we go to Analog World, Jason Thorpe on Ultra again. If you notice, a lot of these come from Ultra because Ultra is kind of the cost no object site. Not all of them, but hey, that's where we review a lot of expensive stuff. The European audio team, Fortissimo S turntable and F-Note tone arm. He loved this turntable, and he's very critical of turntables, has had to send many turntables back for speed and stability issues. He likes it or it doesn't. It works well or it doesn't. And he loved this turntable in his reviews on Ultra. And then also in the turntable realm, but a piece of it, Jonathan Gorse absolutely loved the Audio-Technica ART20 moving coil cartridge. It's expensive. He reviewed it on Ultra, but he thinks it's could be the best thing out there.
It looks really cool.
And this is a brand new review published on just the 15th, came in the last minute. Coming up here is the Beyerdynamic DT 1990 Pro Mark II. These are headphones that Jeffrey Morrison reviewed on our solo site, and he's given them 9.5 for sound quality, just a hair shy at 10. Absolutely love them. And Beyerdynamic, they've won Product of the Year awards, at least one from us in previous years. They make great stuff. And finally, in the outstanding performance category, the Keith Monk's Prodigy Plus record cleaning machine from England. Jonathan Gorse reviewed this. He's hardcore into vinyl. Went through the whole history of Keith Monk's products in the reviews and thinks this is basically the best record cleaner out there. So if somebody's, and it's not that expensive, I can't remember the price offhand, but it's under $2,000, I believe. Go check out Ultra, and hey, it's a good one. So that's outstanding performance from our core group of sites. And why don't I tell you what the outstanding performance from Australia was?
Yeah.
The Delacord FR 2035 active loudspeaker system. This comes from an Australian company, Delacord, and it's a active floor standing 3-way loudspeaker. I've never heard it, but check out the review on Ultra. Something from England, from a company called Kudos Audio, the Titan 808 loudspeaker. This is a funky looking loudspeaker that you've really got to see to not believe, but the way they've mounted the cabinet so the bass is isolated from thing. It's pretty clever idea to keep the bass section away the thing. And they loved it over there in Australia. Musical Fidelity, the new Vista Vinyl 2 Phono Stage. It is a really top flight Phono Stage. I know it. Feature rich, everything in there. And by the way, Musical Fidelity is now owned by Heinz Lichtenegger, who owns Project, and Project is big into turntables and all that type of stuff. So kind of a natural match to make this. And speaking of turntables, I really like this turntable. It comes from England. The Rega Research Naya turntable. Just a beauty in terms of they have a philosophy of less is more. The founder, Roy Gandy, believed early on that resonances and stuff were better controlled using fewer and certain materials than big, bulky things like you see many turntables made out of. And that's how the Rega kind of whole platform evolved from there.
It's like a skeleton carbon fiber.
Yeah, I love one of those in my room. I'll tell you that. First time I saw it, it's cool. So that's a good choice from them. And finally, the Rel Acoustics number 31 reference series subwoofer. So they don't deal that much in subwoofer products, but they do come up. And this one came in and they absolutely loved it over in Australia.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
The distinctions for Australia.
You know what? Because I jumped right into outstanding performance.
Yep. So what ended up in the distinctions for Australia? We heard the ones for the rest of the SoundStage network.
So in the distinction categories, those individual, this is a good choice. The Hall of Fame award on our core group of sites, it went to the 801. This one's going to Wilson's The Watt Puppy. And the Watt Puppy is the most legendary speaker out of that company. This new 50th anniversary one, people are absolutely loving. And it's a great choice because it's a strong performer right now, I guess. And actually, I heard it in England. It's excellent. And it has a real history. So Hall of Fame. And like I said, when I was reading our distinction awards for the other sites, they recognized the Masters M66 for pioneering design achievement from NAT. Under innovation and design, this was where I mentioned overlap with us from last year. They have 2 products under innovation and design. Sorry, I made a mistake. Aesthetics and sound. They have 2 products, and one of them overlaps. And that is the Griffin Audio Diablo 333 integrated amplifier. It's a beautifully overbuilt, massive integrated amplifier. That's not the overlap, though. The overlap is the Estelon Aura loudspeaker, which we gave the Aesthetics and Sound Award to last year on the core group of sites. And, this is a really elegant, beautiful, killer loudspeaker from Estelon. And then innovation and design. They recognized 2 products. One is the Name Audio Unity Nova PEPE, stands for Power Edition, streaming integrated amplifier. I was able to use one of these things. We had it in for review. Beautifully built thing, does it all under one hood, streaming, integrated amplifier, all that stuff, and in a real luxury cabinet with a pretty funky volume control. And the Class A Audio Pre-Mark II preamplifier. Not as feature-rich as the M66, but getting up there. It has subwoofer outputs. It has the HEOS streaming built into it. It's got the Class A look. It's everything. So it is an innovative product. They did a good job.
All right. And now, what are we talking about?
Exceptional value.
The SoundStage network. So exceptional value.
So in Australia, they only had one product under exceptional value. They tend to
let's nail
focus
that one
on things. Yeah. DS Audio DSE3 optical cartridge. And it's, I believe, the lowest price optical cartridge from the DS Audio company. And when I say optical, it's not using a laser to read the record. It's a stylus, but the way the energy gets transferred into an electrical signal is done through light instead of coils inside of a cartridge, okay? And magnets. And actually, the history of this company goes back to their Japanese company. They co-developed, I guess, the original Microsoft optical mouse with Microsoft. No way. So they have this optical technology, and DS Audio is a cartridge brand out of them. And they've been and you need a special type of PhonoStage. And Jason Thorpe has reviewed and loved the DS Audio stuff in the past. So cool. This is their most thing. And then we have our sites. Exceptional value. Ready?
Hit me.
This is a killer. It's not a cheap product, but it's not as expensive as it could be, and it is an exceptional value. The Arundel Sound 1528 Tower 8 floor standing loudspeaker at $9,500 a pair. Now, this is factory direct. They send it to, so they're bypassing middlemen and blah, blah, blah. But, hey, the end price is what it is. This speaker could easily be $25,000 in a store, and it's $9,500 delivered to your door. Most places, taxes and shipping and duties included. It's just a stellar value, and I reviewed it on Hi-Fi. And also, Dennis Berger.
It also looks amazing, by the way.
Looks amazing.
I actually really like the look of that one.
Yeah, could go under outstanding performance, but honestly, this is exceptional value as well. PSB Imagine B50 bookshelf speaker from Canada. Paul Barton, Dennis Berger reviewed this, our podcast producer and editor of SoundStage Access. And this is just kind of, I wouldn't say no-brainer, but close to just a great, exceptionally good, exceptionally high value stand mount type loudspeaker. And then another one came from Access is the Dayton Audio HTA streaming integrated amplifier. It's a DAC built in, power amplifier, tubes, and it's how they're selling this for $350 is astonishing, but it's really, really good, as well as funky looking and damn cheap. And then less featured, fully analog, the Marantz Model 50 integrated amplifier from Japan. Dennis Berger reviewed this again. Straight up analog preamplifier. I think it's $1,800. Got the whole Marantz look, quality, 70 watts per channel. Really nice, straight up integrated. And another Marantz component, also the CD50N, which can kind of be considered a companion to the 50. You don't Model 50 integrated. You don't have to use them together, but you can, or separately. CD50N is a CD player, but it's got the HEOS streaming system built in, so you can boot up HEOS, and I have many a times, and use it with your streaming services and whatnot. And speaking of streaming, the Eversolo Audio DMP A8 streaming preamplifier, Chinese brand. Roots in Zidu. Eversolo now is the brand name. They're putting these 2-channel products under, and this is a killer value in terms of a streaming preamp, in terms of what it does. Not perfect, not every feature imaginable, but what it does, how it's built, it's exceptionally well priced, and it measures like a dream on the test bench too. One of the quietest products we've ever had. And on the music serving side, we have the Roon Labs Nucleus One music server. Harman went and bought Roon. This came out after the purchase. It kind of, a lot of people were using Mac Minis or little computers and stuff for music. And Roon came out with this thing, and Jorden, who reviewed this thing and who knows everything, said, no, this is what you use. Don't go for the computer stuff. If you want Roon and you want a good low price, the Nucleus One is a beauty. And then this American company, Dayton Audio, just gets another award. And remember Gordon and I talking about this. It was Tom Moon's review, and he's like, you got to look what Tom said about this TT1 turntable. It's like, I think it's $250 or something like that. It's like a hell of a lot of turntable for $250. And this is exceptional value, and it's a good quality turntable at an amazing price. Finally, the Shit Audio Magni headphone amplifier with DAC. And that is how they pronounce it, Shit Audio. And they've had a lot of fun with it. Shit's happening, all that type of stuff. But Jeffrey Morrison reviewed it on SoundStage, and it's an exceptionally good, inexpensive headphone amplifier with optional DAC. And that's how he reviewed it.
So, that was a mouthful. That's a lot. The cool thing about all of these awards is that because of how they're selected, people can go and actually read the entire articles, the original review articles, and maybe some other content on those individual pieces to kind of get a better understanding of why they were so outstanding in their individual categories.
Yeah, like on Hi-Fi, the article lists them all, links them all, and has 1 or 2 sentences from the review that shows you why they're. So it's a resource, and this will get loaded hundreds of thousands of times already, probably, as people look at the products here. Plus, we have that video already out with Kellylee Evans.
Are we? Oh, I guess it'll all be released by the time this gets released, right?
We recorded the video yesterday.
Yeah.
So 6 days before the release of the video. It's being edited right now. Video will have come out on December 15th with this award announcement. Now it's December 20th.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this video.
Yeah. So last year, my belief is hi-fi's got to get it together. And, let's face it, YouTube's a big thing. But, hey, you're on Central all the time, Jorden, and talking on this. And I'm yapping away on Instagram all the time. And we need some star power. So last year, we recruited Dominique Fils-Aimé, the famous singer from Quebec, to do the awards, and she did, and we have the video up there. It was really well received. Somebody from the industry who values great sound, and this year we got someone else, Kellylee Evans, who has 9 jazz-type albums to her name and has recorded on many others. Good fan base, into doing this, really happy to come out and read the awards, and the goal is every year to perhaps get a different musician, someone who appreciates good sound and people buying their music and listening to it at home on good systems.
Yeah, and it's just a fun way to kind of highlight some of the different artists that, they appreciate the fact that the audio industry does so much to make them sound good everywhere. And when I think about audio folks, I forget who said it or what the joke was, but it's like some people buy the equipment to listen to the music.
Yeah, that's always attributed. I'm gonna go out there and say this. You could see this thing, and we'll put some research. It's attributed to Alan Parsons. Alan Parsons says something like audiophiles don't listen to their music.
They don't buy
your music on their system. They listen to they use your music to listen to their system.
Exactly.
Okay, that always gets attributed to Alan Parsons. And one day I went down a rabbit hole and I tried to find out if Alan Parsons in any interview actually said that, and I never found that he actually did. Now, I met Alan Parsons once, and I should have asked him, but I kind of stopped him in the hallway and got a picture with him, and he had to rush off. But if I run into him again, I am going to ask if he actually said that. But the sentiment is correct. People should be listening to the music through a good system. They shouldn't be listening to their system and using the music like sound effects, which happens a lot in the audiophile world.
Yeah. So all that being said, I think it's a cool way to connect with different artists and highlight a lot of the reason why reviewers review stuff and publications like SoundStage exists. And it's really for the enjoyment of the music and to celebrate the people that pour their heart and soul into the music, and then the people that pour their heart and soul into creating the stuff to enjoy the music.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And talking to Kellylee, people should support artists like this, buy their music, stream it, whatever, because it's a lot of work to put it out there like that. It's not easy.
No. And I have asked this to you time and time again, so it's kind of getting old at this point, which is, what is the soundtrack to your life, or what are you currently listening to? I think for this episode, is it safe to say that Kellylee is what you're listening to?
I'm going to go look through her music. I was talking to her quite a bit, and I found out where she records her music. I went to visit the studio, which is around here, and dig in more. So I think people should watch a video, and I'm sure they will. Queue up Kellylee Evans. Hey, buy LP, buy a CD. She sells them on Bandcamp. Support her, support Dominique Fils-Aimé, support whoever, because it's a good thing to do.
I love it. All right. And with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening, and all the best.
Thank you.